Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and we are finally finishing up Inktober 2019. So as you can see, this video has been posted in November because this year, holy crap, I made Inktober deadline by the skin of my teeth. It was so close, like I almost didn't make it. October was a really tough month for me. If you guys saw my community post, I've just been having a really hard time balancing my day job, which is having me work, I guess, a lot more intensely during the day and doing overtime comboed, and that's just been really exhausting. So October was really hard for me to stay like motivated and into it and just actually have the physical energy to do Inktober. And you know, I have to congratulate myself in general for making a really solid effort and doing all 31 days and making them all illustrative pieces. But man, it was exhausting. And right at the end, I know I did like 10 in like one day because I had like, you know, a day to go. It was the 30th and I was behind by like 10, 12 days. And I'm like, all right, well, we're just gonna make them all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this last video, and I wanted to do a little special announcement. I'm going to be selling all of my Inktober pieces. So I'm opening pre-orders for my Inktober book, where you can get a book with all of my Inktobers this year, high resolution scans in them. And then I'm also going to be selling the originals. If you guys would like to check out my online shop, it's katelynmccaigue.com/shop. I'll put a link up here and down in the description, but I sell my monster manual over there and a bunch of other like prints and little goodies, but I wanted to offer this year's Inktober as a potential purchase. I'm going to be keeping them out until the end of November, so if you guys got a fan of the channel that would love an original art piece, this would be a really great Christmas gift. And then I'm going to offer you guys a special promo code for watching this video. If you go over to my shop and use the code Inktober, you'll get 10% off your purchase. So let's go ahead and jump in and finish up these Inktober pieces. So let's get started with this second half of Inktober. So first and foremost, as you guys might have known from the last episode, I am doing these in all ballpoint pen, no pencil. I do have like some little preliminary thumbnails, but everything is done from start to finish with just one ballpoint pen. I do add some of them. I have some of like the white ink or the gold ink just for like a little bit extra, but that's about it. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in to our last half. So first off, we have MISFIT for day 18, and I thought of kind of a Minotaur design because I thought it was interesting that this type of character doesn't really fit in any world. It's not really a full animal and it's not really a full human, so this guy doesn't really fit in any society. He's just kind of this in-between that's probably rejected by both sides, and I thought that was kind of an interesting thought process for like MISFIT. And then next up, we have SLING. So with SLING, I had an idea of having like a slingshot and a character like basically winding it up to throw it. And when I was doing the thumbnails, I kind of laughed because I did like two hooved creatures in a row. For this one, I did a satyr with a slingshot, and I really liked this pose. I felt it was very dynamic and interesting and kind of pushed me in different ways. I made it a little bit high on the page, but oh well. The one thing I would critique about this is one of the forearm, the balance arm, I would probably rotate it so it's a little bit higher, and then some of the speed lines are a little weird at the top of the sling, but besides that, I felt this one had a lot of good movement and was really fun to create. Next up is thread. So this one actually was tread. On the Inktober list, it actually said tread, and I felt kind of stupid after I posted this. I'm like, oh, of course I misread one. It seems to almost happen every year where I get close to either misreading one or I for sure misread one. So this year it was thread, but I also saw a lot of people posted threads as well. Like, I'm not the only one who misread it, so thank goodness for that. But I am happy that I did misread it because I wanted to do something different and interesting for thread. I had a few different ideas, like someone sewing or using more of a traditional thread. And I thought, well, what if we did like these weird, cool, creepy silkworms? And this like druid used them and manipulated them, or actually a rogue. I don't know, would it be a rogue druid? Maybe a multi-class, yeah. So they used these silkworms to make the threads that they would trap their victims, or like they'd set traps to capture creatures, who knows, but I thought that was an interesting and different approach to thread that I personally haven't seen before. And then next up was treasure. So this one I wanted to do kind of a big statue-esque treasure instead of like a treasure chest filled with like rubies and gold. I wanted to do more of like a bigger statue, and I thought, oh, it'd be kind of fun to do a kobold, which they tend to protect hoards of treasure, or specifically they do things for their dragon patrons who they kind of see as gods. So I thought, let's like double combo that and make this kobold protecting like this golden statue of maybe their dragon patron. At least that's what I was thinking. It's just like this large crusted golden statue with like jewels and gemstones and just bedazzled all over, that maybe the dragon got many years ago and then the dragon was slain, but the kobolds still protect this statue like it is their dragon patron, like it is their god. And I thought that was kind of a fun idea, and you know, gave me an excuse to draw another reptilian dragony boy. And then after that was Ghost. So this one was a little bit more straightforward for me. I was like, well, why don't we just draw a cool necromancer character? I really like necromancers, and I think it just ties in well with the Ghost theme. So I thought, what if I did like a more older character? I tend to draw kind of youngish looking characters typically. And I don't know, maybe like 20s to 30s range, teenagers too. I don't really draw a lot of, I guess, quote unquote, older people with different facial features. So I thought, well, this could be a much more aged necromancer, add some more like scars and lines to his face and make it look like he's been around the block a few times. And I thought it'd be interesting if he had like a staff where he could summon the souls of the different people he's killed over the years. And, you know, being a more experienced and aged necromancer, he probably has quite a few different souls in that staff, ranging from all types of humanoids to maybe some cool creatures. So I did a couple of different shapes of ghosts, but I was also really inspired by the jack-o'-lantern idea for these ghosties. So they kind of look like little cute little jack-o'-lantern ghosts, and I love them. And then after that was Ancient. So this one I had a lot of fun with. I thought it'd be really cool to do this like more ancient, creepy, druid-like character that resided in the woods. Like I was thinking it's like a skull druid that guards like these ancient trees where the souls of its brethren are like sealed away in these giant, ancient, awesome trees. And I really wanted something creepy, just kind of like this weird, wizened, like really creepily hand-old looking character, and just some type of being that has been around for a really long time in this ancient forest. So I added some really cool skulls. I thought it'd be cool to have like a skull mask and maybe some skull adornments. So I have like raven skulls as a necklace and some skulls for a shoulder guard, and then obviously a major skull mask. But I loved this one, and I was really proud of my really creepy, like long-fingered clawed hands. And then after that we had Dizzy. So for Dizzy, this was right around when I had my major burnout from work and such. So I fell probably about 24, yeah, like a little less than 10 days behind, right around here. So I just wanted to do a couple like just more fun, whimsical ones to kind of just get my creative juices flowing again. So I did this orc sitting at a bar, and I just imagined there would be like fairy attendants maybe at the bar that would help around, or they're just like wild fairies that just happen to bother people that are at this bar, and they just do circles around drunk people's heads to annoy them and maybe try to make them more dizzy and just barf like crazy after having too much beer. And then after that is Tasty. So this is probably one of my favorites for this second half. I really had a lot of fun with this one. I wanted to add a lot of personality into this one. but I thought it would be interesting to do like a juxtaposition. So I was thinking this elf princess has this secret that she's keeping from her people, that she loves to barbarically eat like huge hunks of meat. Like maybe her people are more vegetarian, and this is her dirty little secret where she just eats like a giant like leg of something. And it's just really a fun juxtaposition of like taking a big chunk out of a huge leg, and you're all dressed all fancy and princess-like. Someone left in the comments that it would be awesome if I did the opposite of making an orc who loves like pastries, and I'm totally gonna draw that. Next up is dark. And for this one, I wanted to do a, oh no, I'm forgetting what they're called. They are called Kenku. They're like these raven bird people in Dungeons and Dragons. And I wanted to draw like this creepy blind one that lives in like the dark slums of a city, and just this overall darkened, downcast character, like a more aged, kind of beat up Kenku. And this one was a lot of fun. I don't draw Kenkus often, and I've been getting more comfortable with birds slowly. I feel they've always been kind of something I don't like drawing as much, but I'm really starting to like drawing them, especially when they're humanoid birds like Kenkus. Next up is coat, and this one I wanted to do like the coat of an animal on a character. And the thing I thought of was a druid summoner, like it, or well, I guess an orc druid, not a druid summoner. Basically a druid summons its strength through the coat it wears. So I was thinking this orc druid wears the coat of a bear to summon the strength of that creature. And I kind of wish I put some cool like effects around him, like maybe some little whimsical bubbly looking things to show the strength being transferred to him, but I still really like this one, and I was really proud of the pose and just the overall look. And now for day 28, we have ride. So I wanted to do a mount character, obviously to go with ride, and I thought we'd just take advantage and do a little mini monster mash. So I took a double name animal, which is a rat snake, and I made an actual rat snake. And I thought it'd be really fun to have like this four-legged, really elongated creature with big rat ears, tufts of hair, and it looks kind of like a snake, and it's something that characters could ride. A little fun fact, I'm currently working on Monster Manual number 2. We just started production on it, and I think I'm totally gonna add this mount in there. It would be really fun to have. And if you guys wanna pick up a copy of Monster Manual number 1, you can use that coupon code I mentioned at the beginning of this episode to get a portion off the book. For day 29, we have injured, and my thought process was kind of like an old war hero sitting on a bench, like looking off into the distance while holding onto his equipment like his sword, and like thinking of the glory-filled days of battle. And this one I'm conflicted on because I really liked my thumbnail sketch, but I don't know if I really like how I executed it. For example, the arms I wasn't too happy with. I kind of wish I extended them out a little bit more, but you know, once you put pen down, it's kind of game over. I know I could have redrawn it, but I was okay with it enough to let this one go. I just might want to redraw it one day so I can get those arms right. And then after that, we have day 30, which is catch. And I noticed like this year I drew a lot of orcs. I'm gonna have to go back. I don't remember drawing this many orcs last year or the year before. I just really like drawing orcs, and I was so happy to draw more. And I thought this would be really cute to have this like bigger buff female like orc go out and just like hand fish and like catch these giant fish out of the lake. And I just had a lot of fun adding some personality to this one and getting the opportunity to draw a giant fish. And then finally, for the last day, we have ripe. And the first thing I thought of was like a fruit merchant. So I thought, oh, how would you transport like bananas after you get these giant bundles of fresh really good bananas. How would this food merchant go around selling them? And I thought of this like smaller merchant with the staff, with the bundles draped on the back of them, with a backpack, just like walking from the fields back to the town. And I just thought it was such a fun little illustration, and I had a blast with this one. It's so simple, but I just thought it was really fun and playful at the same time. So that's it. We're done with Inktober 2019. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. I barely made it this year, as you can see with this video coming out in November. It was a little tough this year, but I had a really good time. So if you guys would like to pick up any of the originals of these, you can go over to my shop with the link down in the description and here on the cards. And you can get 10% off by using the code Inktober. But either way, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and follow my journey throughout the year as we wait for another round of Inktober next year. So thanks again, guys, so much for stopping by, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.